Hi, I'm Daniel from TwoSec Internet Solutions. Welcome to May the 4th. We are introducing TwoSexy Radmin this year, and this is the perfect day to release it. So please join me in my demo so that you can see what you can do with it. Anybody who needs to know more can always find all the downloads and the documentation under this address. So let's get started right away, because what is this even about? It's about these kinds of tables, because creating tables to administer things takes time, and we always need them again and again. So it could be that we need tables of blog posts, tables of people data, tables of just about anything. And you can always create them in TwoSexy within like half an hour or so with whatever you're trying to do. And then adding the features, the sorting and all that, the search just takes time. But now you can do it in seconds. And that's what we're going to look at today, because with Radmin, you can add it to any app that you already have and just get going. So let's start with a live demo. Basically, what we're going to look at is here we have our charity. It's called To Give Life. It's a Swiss school system which helps daycares in Africa provide a better education for their children. That's basically the whole idea. There's hundreds of lessons on it. It's a whole platform managing everything. And whenever there's data, it has to be managed. And the core principle that we have is we don't usually let people access the admin interface, which is this here, because we just think this is probably too overwhelming for most people. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide access now to our editors to the table of projects and another one, and do this as quickly as we can. So let me just go to the app extensions. As you can see, I already have an older version of Radmin installed, and I'm going to install the newer version. This is going to show you how upgrading works, but basically installing it anew does the same thing. So you can just go here, add extension, and go through the extensions catalog. And I'm now going to pick Radmin in the latest version, and I'm going to install it. Basically, what it's going to tell me now is what's inside the package. And I could install it into different editions, but I'm going to skip that for now. I'm just going to add it to the default edition, and we're going to install it. By the way, now the app is going to do a full reload, because adding an extension could do things like extend the schema of the app, add content types, data, and things like that. And depending on how large your website is or your solution is, like if it has hundreds of thousands of entities, this could take a bit longer. Now, let's go to this page here, and I've already created an empty page where we're going to add this app, the Swiss school system app, and we're going to add this view called Radmin. So basically, this view was included when we installed the extension. And adding this is now just going to get an initial configuration, which is just like the default setup. And it's going to like show you some features. This list that you see now actually shows the Radmin configurations that are in the system. And let me just take a look. For example, let's say I wanted to look at one of these entities. I could just click on it, and I would then see a details page for this entity showing me what is inside it. Now, this took a little longer the first time. Again, it's compiling everything on the fly, and this just shows me the data that's inside it. Might be useful, might not, not so important. But let's start making it useful. I'm going to now go to Configure and say, let's show the project here. And what we're going to do is we're going to now, let me close this, select what data we want to show. And we want to show the project. And that's it. Let me click OK. And we now see a table of the project. I can search. Very simple. I can sort. I can do anything that I would expect to do with such a table. And this just took me like 2 or 3 seconds to do. What's really neat, though, is it supports everything that's in TwoSexy. For example, let's say I would want to switch to a different language. Let's see I have this field called archive here. And in the schema in the background, this has a different label in a different language. So let me go to isiXhosa. I think it's pronounced isiXhosa. But let me go there, and you will now see it has a different label on it. If I go to Swahili, it has a different label on it. So that is already working on the fly. Nothing to do. It's just there. Now, this was a super simple table, of course. Let me show how we could customize this. Let me go back to English, and let's assume that maybe I would like to modify things. Maybe I'd like the archive field to go first. To do that, I'm going to hover over here and I'm going to click on the button that toggles configuration mode. Now I see the same thing, but if I hover over the columns now, I can start configuring them. So let's say I would take the archive and I would want to put a tooltip maybe on this, or let's just call it just arc because I'd like it to be shorter. I'm going to do that, and now it's here. And the name, I'm going to call it the project name. And I can now start configuring these things. I can change how dates should be displayed. I can change the alignment of the contents. The defaults are usually quite good, but I can do way more. So this is super easy to do. And when I'm done, I just exit the configuration mode and I'm back onto here. Now, that was just a first example. Let me just do another one. I've prepared another page here in the background. Let me also again switch to the Radmin view. Save that and say that we're going to call these the skill sets. We're going to show skill set. Let's show the aims. What we're doing here is that we took these educational aims from the Department of Education in South Africa, and we're going to create a table to manage these now. As you can see, bam, it's just there. I can work with it, I can search, I can do anything I want. And this is really just the entry-level drug. I can do so much more. For example, right now I only have edit buttons, but if I go to the configuration again, I could say that I'd also like to be able to add and maybe even delete. Let's not do delete because that doesn't make sense. But now I also have a plus button to add new aims as I need them. I can configure things such as paging. I can turn off search if I don't really want it. I could also, instead of retrieving the data from the database directly, I could say I have a query which only gives me a subset of data. I could add more instructions like manage the aims here. And everything is super simple. I'm going to show you just one more demo so you understand the full power of it. On another page here, I've actually added Radmin to the blog app, and I've created a view which just shows me the categories. And the special thing that I did here is I added a link to the column of the key. So I can now click on web, and I'm going to now go to a different Radmin view, which is now filtering the data by this category that I just clicked on. So if I go back and I would say, show me all the cooking posts, it's a different list. The IT security posts, it's a different list. And this too can just be managed inside here in this column, because I can just go in and say, well, I'm going to link to something. I'm going to link to a view, which is going to use this view that I'm pointing to. I'm going to pass in the key from the data, and it's just going to work. So that's quite powerful. And previously, this would have taken you a few hours to do. Even if you used a JavaScript framework to create the tables and everything, it's still a lot of patching around, and now it's just there within seconds. And that's why we're so happy to show it to you. So try it out now. Go to that URL, and may the 4th be with you. If you're also coming to the Congress DNN Connect, I'm going to give you a deep dive and show you so much more that you can do, including custom column formatters, like to put stars there for like maybe a rating, or anything you want, combining values, linking them across all kinds of views, anything you want. So thank you for watching, and may the 4th be with you.